Hi, and welcome to Gadget News and Review. We are home to some of the coolest gadgets, and the best consumer reviews online, buyer's guides and features. If you like our review, please subscribe for more upcoming reviews videos. Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 5G Review. Xiaomi has been on a bit of a roll since launching the original Mi Mix 3 sliding phone in 2018. It has launched the flagship Xiaomi Mi 9, and the Mi 9 SE, with both delivering very good value for money. Like Huawei, OnePlus and Oppo, the company has decided to reprise one of its pre-5G phones to make its debut in the 5G space, but rather than its latest flagship, it has picked the slightly older, much more niche, Xiaomi Mi Mix 3. The Mi Mix 3 5G includes a battery boost compared to the original, though that has come at the cost of wireless charging. The rest of the specs read almost identically, and just like a flagship, with an all-screen display, dual front and rear cameras, a Snapdragon 855 chipset and an ample 3800 mAh capacity battery. With the Mi Mix 3 5G being exclusive to Vodafone in the UK, we've tested out its network at home and away in a bid to figure out to 5G, or not to 5G. You'll have a hard time finding the Mi Mix 3 5G off contract in the UK. The phone is available through Vodafone, and that's where you'll have to buy it from rather than Xiaomi's Mi Store, which is where you can find the rest of its lineup. Starting at £56 per month with a £29 upfront cost, unfortunately, the base Vodafone package offered with the Mi Mix 3 5G doesn't include 5G data speeds, so don't go for it. Instead, stump up an extra £7 per month for the unlimited Max package. When you consider the 4G options you could pick up for that kind of money, the excellent Huawei P30 Pro is available for significantly less on the same package. It becomes clear, 5G is a pricey added extra. O2 has now confirmed it'll also be bringing the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 5G into its range, but it won't be available until October 2019. The Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 5G isn't currently available at all in the US. Like the original, the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 5G is a hefty bit of kit, clocking in at 225 grams. It's almost as heavy as the significantly larger Huawei Mate 20X. Despite its weight, the phone fits comfortably in the hand and pocket, given the fact it's heavy, not huge. The weight also adds a premium feel to the mix. The phone's 6.39-inch screen slides down while the back slides up to reveal the dual front cameras at the top of the unit. This feature means the Mi Mix 3 5G has an all-screen front, and a 93.4% screen-to-body ratio, making it look sufficiently futuristic, in line with the noticeable 5G insignia on its back. The phone sports a polished 7000 series aluminum frame and a curved ceramic back, as well as a Gorilla Glass 5 front. The 5G edition is only available in one color in the UK, Onyx Black, and while it looks great, boy does it love fingerprints. There's a Google Assistant button on the left side of the Mi Mix 3 5G, while the standard power and volume buttons are on the right. At the base there's a mono speaker and a USB-C port, and as with most of its 5G playmates, there's no headphone jack. There's also no under-display fingerprint scanner on the Mi Mix 3, nor is there a triple camera, with a dual snapper and an old-school scanner around the back. Practically speaking, we didn't mind the phone's heft, but the sliding mechanism wasn't for us. Despite feeling very secure, we kept activating our front camera almost every time we took the phone out of our pocket, as it would slide open. Additionally, sliding it one-handed left us fumbling and fearful of dropping the Mi Mix 3 5G. If you can get past that, then you'll probably get on very well with this phone, but maybe try it in a shop before you pick one up. As for the display, it's a full HD Plus panel with a resolution of 1080 by 2340, a 19.59 aspect ratio and a pixel density of 403 pixels per inch. That's sharper than an iPhone XR, but not quite as sharp as an iPhone XS. All this adds up to respectable levels of detail, and there's a great deal of depth to it as well. Colors aren't as zingy as those on Samsung Galaxy S10 5G or OnePlus 7 Pro 5G screens, even when you dive into the settings and boost the saturation. That said, if you're a fan of more muted, natural tones, your eyes will like what they see here. More importantly, viewing angles are wide, and brightness is strong, which means it's easy to see what you're doing outdoors on this phone. The addition of HDR support means that whether you're 1080p streaming or watching your own videos, it looks great, and the Mi Mix 3 5G's display is responsive too. The bump up to a 3800 mAh battery in the new Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 5G is very welcome, with a capacity that's 600 mAh larger than that of the original Xiaomi Mi Mix 3. That said, the increase in battery size has come with a price. Wireless charging is nowhere to be seen, which is a shame. We're delighted to report that the Mi Mix 3 5G comfortably makes it through a full day of relatively intensive use. After a 90-minute video played back at max brightness, it still had 89% left in the tank, and we were never struggling to make the phone last until the end of the day. Dive into the settings, and you can access insights into your power usage, as well as battery optimization tools. These include a battery saver, which limits background processes, an app-specific battery saver, so your phone can keep a close eye on rogue apps, and scheduled power on and off control. If you need to get 2 days out of the Mi Mix 3 5G, therefore, with all these features fired up, you should be able to. The Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 5G features dual 12MP rear cameras with different focal lengths, allowing for portrait mode photos and a 2x zoom without a major loss in quality. It's a typical camera setup for a high-end phone these days, though most of the competition packs 3 primary cameras. Still, in good light, the Mi Mix 3 5G is capable of capturing clear, detailed shots. The camera app isn't the fastest we've used, with a small amount of lag when switching between modes, but most of the time you can stick with the standard photo mode. HDR mode, high dynamic range, is turned off by default, but you will want to tap the icon and switch it to auto so it can pull out detail in backlit conditions and brighten up dark foregrounds. Slide across the modes above the shutter key, and you'll move to portrait mode, which allows you to take an image of your subject with a blurred background. This uses the 2x zoom telephoto camera and is a little fussier than we've found on the likes of the Google Pixel 3 and OnePlus 7 Pro, with the app telling you to get nearer or further away from the object you want in focus. Once you lock onto your target though, the results are very good indeed, especially in brightly lit conditions. Thanks to software updates, low-light performance has gone from 0 to 100 since the original Mi Mix 3 launched. While it can't compete with the Huawei P30 Pro in the darkest conditions, it's certainly respectable, bettering pricier phones like the iPhone XS Max in automatic mode, let alone night mode. Switching to the front-facing cameras 24MP plus 2MP is easy, just slide the screen down. If you slide the screen down at any point while using the Mi Mix 3, you'll be taken to the selfie snapper, though this slide function can be customized. The dual-camera selfie setup here also allows for portrait mode shots, but the quality and clarity isn't as good as from the rear cameras. As a selfie camera, though, it's totally acceptable, excelling in good lighting, though we would have preferred a secondary wide-angle camera as found on the Google Pixel 3 XL. Video is recorded at up to 4K resolution, though we'd recommend shooting at 1080p to keep stabilization switched on. Like most Xiaomi phones, it's inactive when shooting at max quality. In good light, the image looks great across resolutions, however, low-light video is something we'd avoid altogether on the Mi Mix 3 5G. Running Android 9, the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 5G is in a great position from a future-proofing point of view, and that also means the phone has access to the wealth of apps available on the Google Play Store. Xiaomi's Skin, MyUI 10, may be highly customizable, but it is also a very mixed bag. Like iPhones and Huawei devices, Xiaomi doesn't load up an apps tray on the Mi Mix 3 5G by default, so forces users to organize apps into folders or install a custom launcher. Moreover, while Huawei gives you the chance to activate an apps tray, Xiaomi doesn't. If you're anything like us and have transferred all your apps from an old phone to the Mi Mix 3 5G, you'll have 132 plus shortcuts strewn across your home screens to organize into some kind of order, frustrating. Get past that first hurdle, and you have a variable number of home screens to populate, a Xiaomi Guide screen to the left, with shortcuts to apps and a few tools, and a notifications bar. There are also plenty of handy customizations in the settings, from gesture inputs through to a dark theme to truly take advantage of that AMOLED display. Trial number 2 comes in the form of third-party ads every time you install a new app. The Mi Mix 3 5G scans them for viruses, totally interrupting whatever you happen to be doing in the process, and is so with adverts. This can be disabled, but it doesn't deliver a premium user experience. So while we don't love what Xiaomi is doing with Android, we can appreciate parts of it, and everything we didn't take to is overrideable, provided you don't mind a quick dip in the Google Play Store to find an excellent custom launcher. With its Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chipset, 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, the Mi Mix 3 5G is as competitive as it needs to be from a power perspective. While Geekbench was blocked on our device, with an Antutu score of 364,180, it beats out pricier phones like the Samsung Galaxy S10 5G running the Exynos 9820, so handles demanding games like a champ. What is annoying is that Mi Mix 3 5G still applies a black bar to one side of the screen when gaming despite the fact it doesn't sport a notch. This detracts from the gorgeously immersive all-screen experience the phone showcases the rest of the time you use it. Watching content is, as a result, very enjoyable on the Mi Mix 3 5G. Whether Netflix, YouTube, or videos you've recorded, it looks sharp, bright, and vibrant and the sound produced, while from a lowly mono speaker, is loud enough for all but the loudest environments. It doesn't produce the clearest sound around, so you won't want to listen to it at max volume for long, but for a quick clip or two, it's fine. The lack of a headphone jack might irk wired headphone fans, but there is a 3.5mm to USB-C adapter in the box at least. There's also 128GB of storage included, which should be ample for most, though this isn't expandable. Naturally, this phone also gets fast over 5G networks, with data speeds of up to 250 megabits per second in our tests when we were in the right spots in London. There aren't many right spots in the world right now, so if you pick up a 5G phone, you're paying a premium that may not be worth it. In turn, buying any of the 5G smartphones available today should be regarded as a future-proofing measure that you will benefit from down the line. The Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 5G is a good phone, though the sliding mechanism is a bit fiddly. One disappointment of the original version was its middling battery life, and Xiaomi fixed that shortcoming in the 5G model. The phone's cameras have also been upgraded thanks to software optimizations, and there's tons of power under the hood. Meanwhile, the screen looks great, even if it can't compete with those of the Samsung Galaxy S10s of the world. What it boils down to is 5G, and whether you need it. The Mi Mix 3 5G may be one of the most affordable 5G phones around, but for what it costs on contract, you can pick up significantly better 4G alternatives like the Huawei P30 Pro or the Galaxy S10 Plus on equivalent Vodafone 4G tariffs. So if you find it at a price that works for you, and you want something a bit different that has 5G, it's a good phone. If you can hang tight for the service to get better though, that would be our recommendation.